All right. So, Tobias limps into the forest trying to look for something to patch up his wounds. Barut starts dragging over the boar and starting to try and cook them while Virik. I was like looking at Tesh on the screen, like name Tesh, and Tobias is in my mind, and like every possible combination of those words went through my name, through my mind for your character name. I was just saying before this that I need some like blood sugar, and evidently I do. I'm starting to fall apart here. You're starting to pull out a tusk or something, just for the sake of it, you know, like why not? They're here. They don't need them anymore. Why not? While you go out there, Tobias, you're looking around for Blue Lady. It's not the commonest plant, but it's like sort of uncommon in like card game rarities. You can find it around, and you know how to find it. But you're not really paying super much. Like you're paying attention to that, but you're not paying attention to your surroundings as much because you're in quite a bit of pain. Not an obnoxious amount of pain, but enough that it's hard to concentrate, enough that you struggle walking, and this is not even terrain at all. There's snow and snow slush and twisted and gnarled roots, and also rocks, because there's sort of like an incline. You're kind of going up a rocky hill that has trees on it. At some point, you actually do see some. It is within reach. It's a small, sad little bush of it that hasn't had time to grow, and normally you would not pick this one. You would let it grow, you'd mark it on a map or something, but like, that can be ground down. You go to reach for it, you take a step, and your leg goes up in the air as a rope. It's tied around it very quickly, and you are lifted up into a tree, dangling upside down.
Perfect.
No.
Actually, give me a constitution save real quick.
If he loses his leg?
It was more to see if sort of like the head rush of being this injured and being flipped upside down real quick was going to knock him out. But you sort of you sort of look around, sort of a little dizzied by the experience, and you see two goblins sort of prowling up, must have heard, and they're like, ah! And they start sort of pointing and planning, and like one of them has like another net. They actually sort of sling over you and start tying around, binding you up as best they can.
So, how far away from the camp are we at this point?
You don't know. Oh, from your camp, like out here?
Yeah.
Probably no more than like 5-10 minutes.
Cool. Because I mean, the immediate response is gonna be "Oi!" sent out into the forest.
Yeah, okay. So these goblins start approaching. You two give me perception checks.
Oh no.
It's not that hard a DC. You can't fuck up that bad.
It's not a disadvantage, is it?
It's not a disadvantage. You got to stop Ericking. Otherwise, we might have to start calling Ericking Teshing, which would be. It doesn't sound.
Yeah. Oh, it's even worse. It's the same, actually.
Barut, you're sort of like you've set up a very rudimentary spit for this boar, and you sort of set it up over the fire, and you're like, huh. Maybe there's another like, oi, get off me. Virik doesn't hear it, but you do hear, and the direction of which you hear, definitely Tobias yelling. The first one you're like, oh, no. The second one you're like, that's Tobias yelling for aid, or for you to come over.
Let's go. We have to, did you hear that? If not, it was Tobias. He was yelling. He's in danger. We've got to go.
Okay. Get up and just start.
I'm gonna kick the boar off. Like, I'm gonna kick the spit over and kick the fire out.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I wanted to just let it burn. So much.
I know. The reason why the cooking was so bad is because
you've now kicked dirt all over it.
Yeah. It's gonna be a gross meal, but it's still a meal. Anyways, let's go.
It doesn't take you very long to sort of come up on this scene where you see Tobias struggling as two goblins who are half his size, and he's upside down, and he's also a couple of feet up, are trying to wrap like a net around him. It's not even like a tarp, it's like a net. They're struggling. He's struggling.
Is he wrapped?
His leg, one leg is wrapped, and the net is like kind of half around him, but not like properly.
Have they seen us, or are they too focused on the struggle? Not being particularly stealthy.
Yeah, they as you sort of come up, you notice one of them sort of turn your way.
Okay. I'm gonna charge with my shield forward, my sword ready, but I'm not going for the goblin. I'm gonna see if I can cut off the rope from
And you know what? You know what this is? This is
I have a guess.
Another initiative roll. This one doesn't have a. Actually, I could put it on the battle map.
Come on.
No, you have a moment. Don't roll initiative. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna give you a battle map, and I'm gonna do it live on stream.
Oh, that's just
Do it live.
it's
I don't know what I just did. Oh, you
I am
did.
very alert as to what is happening right now.
Yeah.
See, what happens is I'm still hobbling. That's why I'm late. Like, he charges in, I'm like, oh, fuck, god damn it.
Just gonna.
I didn't say anything. I just went.
My roll 20 needs to be reloaded. Give me a moment.
Sure. I mean, I guess.
Look,
I mean,
ultimately, chat just has to sit here for like a couple more seconds. They can get
This
over
isn't
themselves.
I saw this day going when I woke up, but
Oh my god. This is just...
And you guys thought I would be the one who was getting into all this.
No, I thought Varric would be the one who caused
Yeah,
who
that's
causes all
true.
kinds of trouble. And the thing is, he's just not been in like a big enough town.
You are correct.
He like knows people here, so he's not getting into trouble. But if it was a bigger area where it doesn't matter.
The only reason why he didn't steal from that warehouse while they were in it is because this is our first job. I don't want to ruin it. Like,
Yes.
that's like literally the only reason.
That
That
one
and
will
we
be,
might
like,
have actually had
here.
something to say about that.
This one's here. All right.
I mean, he wouldn't have told you.
I would have been
Let
watching.
me add your turns here and redo it. And Barut, would you give me an initiative roll real quick?
I can do that.
And Gobbos, the wily little creatures, roll a 1.
Yay!
So, Tobias, it's one of those things where beforehand you were just sort of struggling. Kind of a little dizzy, little dazed, not struggling like full force. You didn't have your weapons out. When you see your companions, like, kind of come over a little bit of a rocky ridge, you got a little bit more energy about you.
yeah.
What do you want to try and do?
All right. So range attacks are a disadvantage with you when you're within melee, right?
Yes.
Because what I kind of want to try to do, and I mean, if this doesn't work, then that's fine, is like push myself off of one of the goblins and try to take out my bow and then shoot him in the face as I swing back.
Absolutely. Also, like, this one technically isn't in melee range because I don't use contact
right.
diagonals. So
Okay.
But you can basically push off into that one, into this one, or I'll allow that because of the situation. Because you're also raised up, so you can shoot at either of them.
So
with this.
I would like to try to shoot this one.
You will have to give me an acrobatics roll.
Oh, okay, sure. Bam. Maybe.
No, that's good enough because it was against the goblin. So
Right.
like pushing off and drawing your bow, like, yeah, you're doing upside down. You never done it before. It's hard to do, but in the moment, the goblin has no ability to stop.
I mean,
you.
I have 3 hit points. This is pure adrenaline right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
you push off of the goblin, and it's like almost like talking to the other one, like, what do you see? Like you push and give me an attack roll.
And then
You do have
18.
advantage because it's not acted yet. That's a hit.
Oh my god.
that's 5 piercing.
Yeah, you shoot the arrow. It doesn't have a lot, as much force as you want because it didn't. You can't do a very good draw when you're in this whole sort of thing. And it does sort of shoot this arrow, this goblin in the chest, and it's like, ah! And starts. Doesn't fall and doesn't happy.
Perfect. That's my turn.
That's your turn, Barut.
Yeah, it's a really good thing we got to rest and recover all those spells that we definitely didn't get to do.
It's just 2 goblins. How bad can it be?
Well, given that I'm the healer and everyone's at low health except for me, great! I'm gonna run up, and I originally said I was gonna cut Tobias down, and I think I'm still gonna do that. So I'm gonna try and... The problem is Is it so high up that I can't reach it?
It's an attack roll.
It's just an attack roll. I don't have to climb or anything? Cool.
It's not so high up that you can't sort of do like a running jump if your attack roll was good enough. But it's one of those things where it's not good enough. As you run up to go and cut him down, he pushes himself to the side. So you swing, and he's moved, and you're sort of like, and you're trying to swing again, and he swings back. Cold.
I feel like I'm just like a pendulum.
Yeah.
This chaos of people fighting.
Why'd you do that?
Very. Speaking of why you do that.
I'm gonna go up here, lean against this tree, sort of like lean around the tree and throw the boomerang.
Yeah.
And this is still in sunlight, I assume, so disadvantage?
Yes, but which one are you going to shoot at? The one that's been damaged?
Oh, sorry, I'm going for this one.
Mm-hmm. He been shot once already.
Yeah, that's why. No, it's a boomerang's gone again.
Don't hit me.
God fucking damn it.
Barut ran up and tried to cut the rope. Now, Virik actually cuts the rope. The boomerang swings and cuts the rope. Unfortunately, due to the momentum and the pendulum, Tobias, both of you realizing a little bit too late, falls directly onto Barut, who really ultimately had no chance to stop him, as you fall on top of each other and both fall prone.
Oh, fuck. It's like, oh no.
In other words, right before the goblins' turns.
The goblins, like, the one that shot kind of like looks with like wide eyes at the other goblin. And goblins' faces, they're not, even though they have a humanoid appearance, they're very much not human. Not only do they have this weird line that's not entirely straight that goes down their bodies, long, elongated mouths full of like janky teeth and just piercing eyes, just looks at the other one with fear. And the other one's like, and starts running. You're on the ground, so you can't really do much about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. And this one will sort of like draw its like dagger and kind of look down and kind of like swing down at Tobias.
Fair enough.
And actually hit for 3 damage, but he doesn't look.
Points I have.
But convenient for you, he doesn't really look. He like swings, and then as he's swinging, assuming that you're going to attack him again, even though you're sort of falling while he swings at you, he then also starts running in another direction.
I am unconscious.
Tobias is unconscious, so you don't get to do much. Luckily, you've been hitting. Oh, are you bleeding out?
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't go exactly down to 0.
Oh, it did put me exactly at 0.
Yeah, so you're good.
Yeah,
you're good, man.
I'm just gonna take a nap real quick, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand up for half my movement.
Yeah. Push an unconscious Tobias off you.
And I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna kind of give Virik a glare of just.
As you do that, you hear both of the goblins shrieking, "Briak! Briak!"
Oh no.
This is terrible. They are sounding an alarm. This is the one that's hurt, right?
Yes. He's actually leaving a trail of blood behind him a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Well, since they're running, I'm gonna drop my sword and my shield and pull out my short bow again. And take a shot at him and not hit, probably.
And not hit.
And then I'm gonna take what little movement I have to run after him a little bit. And that's my turn.
Okay, first things first, I'm going to throwing star this one.
Does it have to be the first thing first?
Yeah.
That's a hit.
That was so close to being a 1 again. It was so close.
Oh!
Yeah! And that throwing star to the back of the neck. Very dead. Do not mistake its twitching for it being alive. It just it's like, and it's one of the things, it's rocky here. This is not the sort of open area you were in before, even though I'm using the same map. It's like a rocky hillside, so it like falls and just falls head first onto like a fairly sharp piece of rock, and there's just a sort of like wet cracking noise.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Where did my boomerang land? I'm gonna run and grab that.
You would be like over here.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, you can pick it up from over there. Awesome. The other goblin, actually, with its movement in this situation, can actually get and run and get out of sight, unfortunately. So that's where this combat ends, because it gets away. You don't hear it shrieking after a few moments. Yeah, you pick. Do you bring him back up? Do you wake him up, or do you pick him up?
Do we want to use the root brute? The root brute? The bark, sorry. It's not root.
Up to you.
Until we rest, I can't do anything for him, so yeah.
But also, you are aware, looking over is him right now, he is stable. He will be fine. It just depends whether you are going to rest or whether you're going to push on.
I think we need to rest, but we need to keep a watchful eye.
I
Because
think we need to... Yeah.
they're going to know we're coming. But for tonight, I think we need to rest.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up Tobias and start hobbling my way back to camp with him unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can do that.
I'll just like hand him over.
Just a limp.
Yeah. It's better for me to do it than for you, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
And we'll go back and sit down by the fire that we put out, and the pig that I pushed into the dirt, and the spit roast that is probably broken.
Like, actually, when you come back, there's like a crow pecking at the boar that you had already skinned, and and you're like
yeah. And I'll try to cut away at that, and I'll tell Varric to rest first, and then I'll take second watch, or I'll take first watch, and you can take second watch.
Why don't both of you give me perception checks?
Well, if I'm going first, I'll go first. Yeah. That was persuasion, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you can try and persuade the goblins.
Do I do it at disadvantage?
No, because it's not. It would be night.
Sweet. That's good.
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually.
So at night, Barut, you always keep aware. You always do anyway, because it's not like you're going to be sleeping. But you do keep a watchful eye on Tobias and his condition, and when he sort of comes to a little more and goes from just unconscious to asleep, and then eventually to awake much, much later on. But it's Varric, when you take your watch and sort of prowl around and pay attention, you actually see light up the hillside. Quite a bit of a way. You have to go like in an area where there's less trees in between you and the place, but basically halfway up this hill, sort of, it actually looks like there's sort of a flat structure, and there's light on top of that flat structure. It's too far away to get any good details, but you could reckon that's maybe the goblins' little camp, or one of them. You do hear the rustling and movement of goblins around, but you're never attacked at any time. But you do figure that maybe they're scouting you as you're scouting.
Okay.
But when it comes to the morning, you're all rest up. Tobias wakes up. A few new wounds. A few new stories. But ones maybe he won't be telling. Without embellishment, anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Barut's made very detailed notes about what happened. Like, exactly as it happened. Precisely in, like, as much detail as he could remember. So, just... And he wouldn't be shy to let you guys know that that's the case. But if anyone asked him. If you didn't ask him, you know.
When you wake up, it is snowing. It's actually quite cold and chilly. Most likely, Varric actually set up a fire to stop the worst of the cold. Maybe even moved some of the camp to more of the tree cover. Or you would have set up in more of the tree cover because you're not stupid. But it's actually quite a blustery snow, and especially in this part of the world where there's not constant snow, what's worse is when the wind whips up a sort of snowy, powdery mess. That's the stuff that's going to make it hard to see, and hard to be seen. And you also are aware, maybe too long in here would be dangerous to fingers and toes. But you, in this situation, quite easily deal with that kind of cold by like sitting by the campfire and stuff like that. Anyway,
Okay.
continue.
Okay, as people start waking up, I'm just gonna say, okay, so I believe they definitely know we're here. They're looking for us, and I think I know where they are. And I'm gonna point to where the hill is.
Mhm.
But I saw lights up there, and I saw a structure, right, as well.
Yeah, feel free to give me a history check if you want to figure out what that is, and you can show it to the others, like, you know, a couple of steps of walk, point, you know.
Yeah.
Anyone else feel free to give me a history check to figure out what that is. Oh!
Nice. Oh, and you beat me.
Oh, that's always a shame, where it's like, I have no right to do well in this role, and I did really well, and I still get it. Tobias, you're just glad to be awake and glad that there's no more. But
Absolutely.
mostly you're hungry. Like, maybe you follow him and you're like, yeah, but there's like a berry bush there. I'm gonna get some of them. And actually, your ranger abilities, like, you end up preparing breakfast of berries and roots and things. But when you two look, Barut, because of research, and Virik, because of practical experience in the last 2 years or so in this area, that's an old giant ruin. The giants, when they used to rule the world, their center of their civilization was the north. So in the north, which is less built upon as the rest of the world, there's lots of old ruins of an old, tens of thousands of years old giant civilization. Big places that are great places for bandits or goblins to set up shop. When you're looking at it proper, it looks like maybe it was a bridge. Maybe at some point this was a valley. Maybe it's a valley that got sort of like filled in or something of the sort. It looks like a bridge, but of course it's not a bridge over anything now. It's a bridge that kind of just sort of sits completely out of place in the rock. Yeah. Old and giant.
Okay, that's interesting. Probably base camp. Maybe we find who leads them.
I think we should definitely investigate whether or not that's where they're actually staying, or whether that was maybe where they were scouting for us, or maybe that's where they were scouting to actually come down and deal with the town.
Yeah. Either way, this is going to help us. And I point to like the weather. So
you actually have a slight easy, considering snow. If it was rain, you'd probably have an easier time. With the snow, you still have a hard time seeing. But you are aware, like, it's good cover.
I would like to try to find somewhat of the trail of those that were scouting us.
That is going to be a survival check. It will be harder because of the snow. But
17.
You just barely got it. You're going around, and the snow, in this way, it blows away the tracks and covers them at the same time. Two things which are annoying one or the other. But Tobias is very good at tracking animals in this sort of area, and goblins are animals. You actually do find where, not as close as maybe Tesh thought, because his ears are more accustomed to sort of tight caverns and things, so the exact location he couldn't pick up. But, like, you know, a couple of rings of trees away, you actually do find evidence of a goblin being there. I'll be honest, you find their piss tree.
Perfect.
But then from that, you can find their footsteps and evidence of them moving. Probably just one or two goblins. Goblins rarely do anything on their own.
Because the thing I'm really interested in, yes, is how the numbers. So you said about 1 or 2.
This was 2, and it was during the night. But it looks like they went back and forth a couple of times, and maybe it was sometimes it was just 1, sometimes it was 2. You know, back and forth to the area that they're pointing to.
Gotcha. So I'll relay this information to you guys and just say, like, it seems like they had one or two goblins kind of keeping tabs on us, at the very least.
Looks like.
Is there any other approaches to this hill, or what?
Give me a perception check.
Layout of the land.
I'll give you the lay of the land. So, obviously, you could come in from above or the sides. The easy thing looks like to come down from below, and it actually looks like there's sort of either natural stairs made from the rock or giant-made stairs that come up either side of this bridge as well. The longer you look at it, it's clear that the goblins, like, is a nice elevated position because they can shoot down on people, but they can also, but there's the hill keeps going up, quite steep and cliff-like beyond this point, though. The kind of thing where it will be involving rolls to travel up instead of just, like, taking time. But you could come in from above. You could come in from the sides, but in this sort of locale, it's essentially the same as coming up from above. It's a bridge, so going under it could be feasible, but that would involve walking to this sort of clearing in front of it that is clearly intended to be a firing line. And even when you're sort of looking around, you find the occasional arrow in trees.
Right.
In that firing line.
Okay.
So they clearly shoot into this area over here. So we should try and avoid. Well, we should try and avoid having a clear line of sight on us when we approach. They've clearly been tracking us. They will know where the easiest way for us to come up is. They know this land. Any suggestions, Mr. Ranger?
Burke just turns and looks.
Well, for starters, we should probably avoid that situation. Starting to
My assumption as well.
the arrow stuck in trees. We're not really equipped to climb the side of a mountain.
Depends what you mean by equipped.
Bear in mind, this isn't like a full mountain. It
Gotcha.
It is not. It's not even like a cliffside. It's just a rocky hill, but it's still
Okay.
more than nothing. You know.
I mean, as far as actually, hold on. So you would just describe it as difficult terrain.
Not technically. Why? What are you suggesting?
Oh, the only reason I'm asking is just because of Natural Explorer.
Yeah, you ignore difficult
terrain.
terrain. But this is more. I'd say if you weren't trying to go above, if you were trying to go around the side, you would have no problem with that. Because the side is, you can more kind of come across above it naturally, instead of trying to come above where it's much steeper. So yeah, if you were coming in from the side, I'd let you completely ignore that, where the others wouldn't.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's fair.
Okay. So that is our easier option, is to go from the side. It will give us more of a tactical advantage, I think, if we were to go up high, but that is going to mean it's going to take some doing.
I think you're right. Better than going from the front.
I mean, that's definitely just not even an option.
Agree.
We need to rule that out.
As I rub the arrow hole, like the
Yeah.
mark where it was. Yep.
They could be gone from there by now. Do we see any light or any
Tesh
indication?
saw
that they
light in the night.
last night,
Night light.
but we don't see any now.
Give me another perception.
I'm not even going to bother. Hey.
Yeah, you might as well do one too, Mr. Ranger. You actually see smoke. Little bit of smoke. So you don't see the light, but you do see the smoke of life.
So they're still there.
Yeah.
A little bit of smoke.
And actually, the more you listen, you can hear laughter as well on the wind. When you're not overbeared by the whisper, the whipping wind, because it's quite harsh, and also it makes the trees rattle and stuff. You can hear a little bit of laughter along with all of it.
Well, they're laughing, so they're having a good time,
Not paying attention.
perhaps. Well, Should we go crash their party?
I
You
like that
are
idea.
muted, Josiah.
Are you?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Goblins are always laughing, especially when they're causing trouble for others. Goddamn
Right.
goblins.
So you're gonna try and climb around the side?
I think rather than trying to go from above, which I honestly am not confident that.
Yeah. Going around the side will be a roll, but is not as hard and not as deadly as going up.
It's more of a moderate, middle of the road type thing.
Yeah, middle to easy because you have Tobias guiding you. So Tobias starts going up the side of this hillside without a whole lot of trouble, slowing down a little bit, but moving much as he's been going the whole time. It's you two who do have to give me athletics checks, but I will give you advantage because you're being led by Tobias, who has no problem in this sort of terrain. This is the whole area is this kind of rockiness that you're used to.
I'll take it.
And with that, not surprisingly, Barut is slower. He's wearing heavy equipment and heavy armor, so it's not surprisingly he's slower. When Tobias and Virik come up to the side, you see this bridge, the top of the bridge, where there's a goblin camp with rough hide tents and fire, and clearly one tent that sort of, if you imagine in the middle of the bridge, but there's sort of where the rock has sort of collapsed and fallen and made a little area, seems to be where the most important place is. And actually, there's a quite nice wooden chair there that my internet just cut out. I had a great time. That's a great face. I respect that. They'll come back, hopefully. You're still here with
It's
me, right?
frozen
Chat?
Ollie.
It is very frozen.
Well, on my end, it's a frozen you.
There
Just
we
so
go.
you know.
Okay.
Well,
and
you
Chat-
know what? Welcome back.
Oh,
Welcome back.
stream actually disconnected. That's new.
Oh.
If you're watching on YouTube, you got to hear some secret special content.
Oh yeah.
But it looks like it's good
Oh.
now. Chat. Give me a thumbs uppy.
I got a
Might have to
2000
refresh.
network error even after refreshing.
I
Mine's
You are
offline.
not
Let
seeing
me
the awake
refresh.
I will restart the stream.
Yeah, I'm seeing the away screen too. That's weird.
It said it reconnected, but it clearly didn't. But that's fine. Again, super secret behind the scenes. Yeah, my internet's like...
Tobias's favorite flavor is mango. You won't get that.
He's never tasted a mango in his life, which means he would love it.
Exactly. Well, the stream's back. All right.
there we go.
Now, yeah,
This
it
is the time to
is
use
one of those things when OBS like oh no, we went down. We're gonna fix it. It just didn't try. It just didn't try.
Yeah.
It just didn't bother. So, to continue directly, with that, it was easy for you to get up. Barut is a little bit behind the rest. When you look over, you see the bridge with a goblin camp with sort of these rough leather and hide tents. But very clearly, there's one that is where the head honcho sits. You actually see a really nice wooden chair is there, and you see a little goblin sitting in the chair that's made for a human or maybe someone bigger, like legs dangling off the edge, laughing so much as two hobgoblins are standing on their heads and quite clearly in pain and distress.
Oh.
Hobgoblins, if you do not know,
Yeah, that's
are often leaders of goblins, much more akin to humans, but still have the sort of slightly monstrousness of goblins. They are quite clearly in pain and distress, while there's more goblins, lesser goblins, who are laughing and joking and like eating and like flicking things at them and stuff. They're having a great time. You actually hear, although I don't know, you actually hear a cute little kitty. You actually hear, none of you speak Goblin, so never mind. You hear a lot of them speaking, just none of you understand it. And after like a moment of you looking over that scene, you have Barut come up and help you. Sorry. I'm trying to make sure the stream works. It's doing the thing where it's like, hey, you're live, but like I'm gonna pretend I'm not. But it's fine. It's fine. I want better internet, but it's impossible. So yeah, what do you want to do? If they have seen you, I mean, with the wind and the snow and their distractions, looks like they probably haven't.
We should, I mean, just going forward, if we get closer, we should try to do so stealthily. I look at Barut and I'm like, I know that's not the easiest thing for you, but given the conditions, maybe the clanks and whatnot will be carried off by the wind. At least we can hope. Seeing this scene unfold, though, like,
like, Vera could be like, that's new. Huh.
Are the hobgoblins bound at all?
Give me a perception check.
This is becoming a trend.
Yeah, perception checks are very common because they're very useful.
No, it's just, like,
They aren't bound, but they're not moving. We're not struggling at all. Perhaps they're bound by magic.
Yeah. So, did anyone else notice that those hobgoblins are not bound at all?
Yeah, and also seeing that one goblin laughing a lot at them, and that's unusual.
I wonder if that goblin is laughing voluntarily.
I wonder if those hobgoblins wouldn't help us destroy their tormentor.
If they can move, they might. But if they can't move, I really don't see them being able to do that. Either this goblin that's sitting on the chair is laughing because he's causing these hobgoblins pain, or he's laughing for another reason and there's a threat that we don't see.
I say we stealth up and get a better look. Have a better understanding of what's going on.
I agree.
Stealth rolls, if you wish.
Can I, before we do that, do I see the goblin? Like, the laughter that he's doing?
You see him. He is very clearly, with that perception check, he's wearing, like, much more gaudy clothing. Not even armor. Just, like, big clothing that's too big for him. Maybe it was for the hobgoblins. It's got these splashes of paint, and all the colors you've seen so far, and there's more colors in there, are on him in some way. Like, very gaudy looking.
I'll also look to Baruit and just be like, can goblins even cast magic? Is that something they're known to do? I've never seen a goblin cast a spell. They can barely hold a sword.
I think if that one is casting the magic, it's not a goblin, or is appearing or controlling a goblin.
Can I, like, because I have an idea, but
Arcana check.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, my Arcana rolls have been garbage.
You've never seen a goblin cast magic?
Nope.
You never heard of one doing it either?
I have no clue. I guess we're going to go and find out.
So stealth rolls?
Stealth rolls. Disadvantage for Barut, unless you want to wait.
I think I'm probably going to just roll.
Yes, finally.
Oh my god.
Good
ruin everything. Yep.
Oh,
and they cancel out.
Yep.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I was going to say, don't worry. Usually someone getting a crit on stealth, I mean, it allows them to help the other person, but they cancel out. You start going down, and it's not very far down there. It's just sort of a slightly steep edge, and you just sort of start moving down very quietly. Tobias literally jumps, just very quietly, covered by the snow, both by sound and sight, and the same for Virik. Barut kind of slides down, because he takes a few steps and slides, and a little bit of rocks fall and things, and makes it down there. The goblins, who are now, some of them just feet from you, do not seem to notice.
like as the rocks fall, I just like against like if there's like a wall or a tent, I'm just like,
Yeah, you can like come up behind a tent.
we're good. Okay.
Okay.
So,
So we're like behind a tent, and where is this goblin sitting in the chair
You know what?
in relation to
oh,
us?
okay.
Maybe
Yep.
I'll
Or
show
go to the
you.
map. Please
Yeah.
do.
Oh, now we
Just
find
so
out
you, just
how
so
many,
you
how many
know,
ways we
let
die.
me put you on there first. Lots of maps today. I'm glad I spent like an evening making a bunch of maps. Definitely a good call.
Yeah. Cat, what are you doing?
It's a spy.
Please don't pull out my camera cord again.
Oh my goodness. I feel so bad.
Why?
Oh, that's a lot of them.
Oh,
It's a goblin camp.
Yep.
This guy is the different one.
And
So
there's
this
one of the
guy's different
hobgoblins
one,
that's
These are the hobgoblins beside him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, hobgoblins tend to
So,
have
yeah,
red
this one-
skin.
okay,
These ones
so
are awesome.
he's upside down currently.
They're upside
And-
down in distress.
Okay.
Okay, so now we decide whether we. I guess we're probably going to attack. Well,
I
I
mean-
would actually. I would change what I'm going to do based on how well can I see here with the snow cover. I assume badly.
Pretty badly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Bruit's obviously behind you guys. He is not speaking purposefully, and he's kind of a talkative person, so you might notice that because he's trying to be as quiet as possible after the rocks.
Yeah.
Pretty much leaving it to you to make the decision of what we're doing, and I'm gonna follow lead. Basically.
When do you think our new friends will get here? I want to show them the party. And there's like a little bit of laughter from some of the other goblins, and actually, the female hobgoblin's like, "Let us go. We don't want anything to do with this. You can stop casting your foul spells. No, it hurts." And he's like, you be quiet over there. You're the reason we're in this mess to start with. That and the monster up above, of course. Yeah. Go look for them. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? Go look for them. And like two of the goblins that he kind of points at, like, and they like pick up their like stuff from the ground and start like walking.
Just back up against the thing. Just
Yeah, you guys, as much as it doesn't look like you're hidden, you are actually hidden in this area. Well,
we're like
Baruch.
around here, like in this like little thing.
yeah, exactly. You're like kind of pressed up a bit against the tent and the snow cover and stuff. One of them kind of is like going around, is like, "Geralgorad, you got elf flesh." And just starts like getting closer. Getting
All
closer.
right. So when this happens, we need to make a move. Otherwise, we're just gonna get discovered, and then everything will.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start
Um,
in front.
He steps out.
I step
they
out
get-
with sword and shield, ready.
Ooh,
I-
like what you're
but-
doing. Yeah.
Sword is down, not up, and I'm gonna put it down in the dirt in front of me, like same way that Corpse Flower did earlier. Just
Yeah.
shove it down on the ground. Shield.
It doesn't work so well because this is like
No, it's
cobblestone. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Clink.
Just holding it, like very, very
Holding it,
carefully,
yes, yes,
putting
holding it.
in. Yes.
When you do that, his like eyes light up, and he's like, I knew it! There's an elf here! Elf!" And you hear the word Maggo's like, "Oh, elf! That's very surprising. I wasn't expecting an elf. Oh, bring them over! And this goblin's like, "Come, follow!" And starts
I'm going to follow.
Okay. This is interesting.
And sort of points in front
Totally
of
different
the.
plans. So maybe this is better. I was gonna.
Yeah.
He kind of
take the other
points
guy
in
hostage.
front of the leader, and he goes, "Sit." Like, no. Our new elf friend, he can do what he wants. He can sit, he can dance. Do you know how to dance? Will you show us how you dance? Please.
I don't dance.
He kind of like looks around. I think you should dance.
I don't dance, but I do sing.
Sing for me.
And because he's gonna remember that that Tobias and Varric both speak Elvish,
Yes.
so he's gonna sing in Elvish, and in Elvish, he's going to sing very, very wistfully. Don't worry, everything's fine for now, but please stay hidden and be ready to ambush them.
Yeah. I'm gonna stealthily move over behind this tent over here.
Absolutely. Like
As
while
they're
they're
all
like
distracted.
distracted and like humming along, and there's even like someone on more like essentially very primitive bongos is like.
Yeah.
That would be down off the edge of the bridge, but you can be like there.
Oh,
That's
I
fine.
see. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You can be, like,
Oh,
pressed
I
up to
see.
the
That's
side.
the yeah.
And that's a drop.
Yeah.
Got it.
Around 10 foot, which means it hurts, but not instant kill.
Not yeah.
Taking my cloak and kind of moving it over myself, I silently draw both my short swords
Oh.
as though to not reflect any undue light and just wait to see what happens.
And then I'm gonna continue in Elvish for a little bit. Just please stay still. Don't make any noise. Try and not be too aggressive.
Stop singing!
Here, but
Stop it! I'm
Well,
bored now.
well,
You,
that'll be it.
elf! You in armor. You
Mm.
have sword and shielding.
Mm-hmm.
You fight?
Sometimes.
I have problem.
Interesting.
You fix problem.
What is your problem?
Up the hill is a monster. And it must be gone. It puts our little community in danger. More than these monsters. And sort of points at the hobgoblins who you can tell now are crying. And it's like rolling down their face. Because they're upside down.
Now, you want us to solve your problem. But we came here because we have a problem. Our problem is that you have been terrorizing our town.
Terrorizing? I've been trying to liven it up a little. It's so drab and so boring and so you know, got your fishes, got your forks.
Well, as much as I did enjoy the very red sheep,
That was Gosmick's work. Gosmick's like,
and I'm gonna give him like a thumbs up. Well done. Yeah. I'm gonna say, well, as much as I enjoyed that work, the townsfolk are getting a little bit concerned because they aren't used to you coming down so much. Now, we obviously don't want you to be in a situation where your people are being terrorized. We understand that. So, tell me more about this monster.
there is a cave, and it is filled with you. What is the word? Scotland. And the hobgoblin's like crystal. Like there is a cave with crystals, and the crystals they move, and they get onto things, and those things they become monsters, and then they hurt us. And when my friends get hurt, I get really, really upset about it. And then I
Well.
don't know what I might do.
Well, we don't want you to be upset. So, what do you say we make a deal?
I'm a listening.
We do what we can to help you with your problem, those crystals and the monsters that they reap. And you, first of all, leave our town alone. Admittedly, if you send someone down to paint a wall every now and then, we're not going to be completely upset. But keep it limited. Less often. And you let those two hobgoblins go as much as they're annoying, and at least let them have some reprieve for a while.
Give me a persuasion roll with advantage. He's funny. Town gets an elf to talk to me. I feel honored. I feel like the belle of the ball. I will accept the terms of your agreement. And he kind of like clicks his fingers, and both of the hobgoblins collapse. And like they kind of, bring themselves together, and will like actually start like running out of here.
That's fair.
As they freaking should.
Yeah.
And then he kind of like claps his hands together more on there. I will leave your little boring brown town alone if you kill the monster. With your friends that I know are here, but I cannot see them.
And I'm gonna whistle, and I'm not gonna do it because it's a terrible thing to do on a microphone. But Brewitt would whistle and just say, "Come on out, boys."
Actually, you know what? I'm going to deliberately do a backflip out like I would as a jester.
Acrobatics roll.
Acrobatics?
Yeah.
Oh, please crit fail.
No, that's actually fine. Like a regular backflip for you, that's totally reasonable. You're good at them. You've done them a lot. You backflip out, and there's like a ah! from the goblins who are very entertained, and he's like, I like that one.
Me too.
Give a little bow.
I'm just gonna like sheath my swords and step out, kind of like materializing from the edge of this over here, just behind
Tap
this
him on the
goblin.
shoulder.
Not even just stand behind him, like looking down.
He'll definitely like get away.
Well, you can see why they sent me out to talk and not those two.
You deal with problem now. You go.
And she pointed to the cave, correct? So we
Like
can
up
see
above,
where
yeah,
that
up
is.
above the hill.
Yeah. Okay, so we can see where that is, and can I see like how difficult it would be for us to get there right now?
Like I said before, it's possible. It's a rocky hill instead of a cliff. It will be rolls for all of you.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Tobias, why don't you take the lead and get us going up there? It's more of a cliffside. Do we want to?
Yeah. What I would like to do is kind of, you can all tie a rope like around our waist, and then have a part at the top, so I can go up first and wrap that around something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then everyone
them
goes up, and then take the other end. So like I'll go up with both ends, tie it, and then keep going, tie that, and then Vera can untie that as he kind of comes up.
That's entirely reasonable. Yeah. So what you're going to be doing is you do the first roll, and then if you're successful, they will have advantage.
Perfect. So what do you want here? Athletics?
Athletics, please, for climbing.
I'm proficient in that. I'm not very strong. So let's see how this goes. Oh,
That was so close to being good.
it was so close to being good.
Ugh.
And then it wasn't.
Do you step away from a little camp to do this?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think so.
Yeah.
You go like out of sight,
Yes.
and you start trying to climb your way up. It is difficult, actually. It is actually not just rocks, but stones and the wind. The area where you start climbing, the wind ends up directly in your face. That is not pleasant as you try and climb. And you only get a couple of feet up before you have to kind of like come back down. Like your belly's starting to hurt again. You're like, reassess the situation, take a few minutes, maybe have someone else go first.
Is anyone better at being athletic?
I mean, I have a base, like.
I'm a base as well.
You can try. If you want to try and use acrobatics for this, you can. It will be a harder DC, but if you're better at it, then it.
That I can do.
Yeah.
I will try using acrobatics then. So just straight roll.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling I was in the middle as far as rope goes to help.
Yeah, it's one of those things where
There we
like Tobias
go.
tries and like comes back down, and you just like and Virik sort of takes the front of the rope, and will actually start jumping, like taking leaps from like one large area to another. And that way, you can actually stay on the stable areas that aren't blown around so much, that aren't sending rocks down. And it does mean it's much harder for him to tie the rope off. That plan doesn't really work when you start using acrobatics. So the others are going to have to do flat rolls. But you do manage to get up to the top, and when you get up to the top, you can see at the crest of this hill, aside from a lovely, crisp, actually quite deep layer of snow, and this is difficult terrain, slow. You see a little sort of triangular, sort of up-jotted cave with shining crystals in the mouth of it.
Okay. So I make it to the top. First thing I'm going to do is look for something to tie a rope off to, and put another one down just as a
just as a general
I have
like,
rope as well.
Rope.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can to one of the rocks. Yeah, there's no like trees up here, I'm fairly sure, so you can just sort of tie it off to one of the ropes, which means you can do athletics with advantage or acrobatics.
I'm going to do athletics.
Same here, actually.
Hey!
Awesome. So it probably takes around 10 minutes, because it's a fairly long distance, and when you're not jumping around like a drow, you have a much slower time, but it's much safer. There's maybe even a moment where like something, like one of your footfalls fall, and you sort of slip a bit, but then you can go back up again, and you can all get up to the top of the hill, where you can see quite clearly this cave with crystals shining on the outside, and maybe a figure of a man kind of you can see in the wisping snow. And with that, we're going to take our last break. I'll be back in around 5 minutes for more adventure.